Welcome to the Irony Guide. Today's lesson: The Modern Woman's Manual to Self-Destruction. A timeless guide for the independent, empowered woman who wants to experience every possible mistake gracefully, of course. Step 1. Your teenage years. The perfect time to start confusing freedom with recklessness. You're young, wild, and apparently, you only live once. Spend your energy chasing validation instead of purpose. Surround yourself with chaos disguised as fun. Make sure to ignore your dreams, because you'll have time for them later, or so they say. Learn early that self-worth depends on who pays attention to you, not on who you are. That's the foundation of modern empowerment. Endless distractions carefully labeled as freedom. Step 2. Your early 20s. You're officially an adult, which means it's time to repeat the same mistakes, but with higher emotional stakes. Trade your ambitions for a relationship that feels like a project. Choose partners who drain your energy but make you feel needed. You'll call it love. Support his dreams while quietly burying yours. Clean, care, listen, fix, and split the bill because you're a modern woman, and equality now means doing everything, emotionally and financially. Tell yourself it's romantic to be exhausted in the name of partnership. And when he leaves, say it's fine, you're just focusing on healing until you meet the next one. Step 3. Mid-20s to late 20s. You've become fluent in emotional survival. You know red flags, but you collect them like souvenirs. If he disrespects you, tell yourself he's just lost. If he disappears, say he needs space. And if he cheats, blame yourself. You'll even convince yourself you can fix him, because nurturing chaos feels like purpose when you don't know your own. Maybe you'll have a child with him not because you're ready, but because you're hoping a new life will fix a broken one. It won't, but at least it will give you something to post on social media when you say you're grateful for the journey. Step 4. Your 30s. The age of reflection or regret. By now, you're probably working a job you don't like, just to pay for a lifestyle that doesn't fulfill you. You still call it independence, even though you feel trapped. You're too tired to dream, but too afraid to stop. You spend your days proving your worth to people who forgot your name. And if you're in a relationship, you're probably managing both your emotions and his, while pretending it's teamwork. You tell yourself love is compromise, not realizing you're the only one compromising. Step 5. Mid-30s. You start to notice the years, the lines, the weight, the fatigue. The men who once ignored you still ignore you, but now with less effort. And the ones you gave everything to have moved on to someone younger, lighter, less complicated. You call them immature, but deep down, you wish you had chosen yourself sooner. You start to wonder what happened to that girl who had dreams. She's still there, buried under every time you said yes when you meant no. Step 6. Your 40s. You've mastered the art of survival. You wake up, go to work, come home, and try not to think too much. You're responsible, reliable, and completely numb. You talk about how strong women are, but secretly envy those who took risks and built something for themselves. Once a year, you take a vacation somewhere close, affordable, and relaxing. You take pictures pretending you're happy, and for a moment, you almost believe it. Step 7. Your 50s. Now you begin to notice that your life is quieter, but not in the peaceful way. It's the silence of unfulfilled dreams. You've avoided risk your whole life, and now you realize that safety also costs freedom. You've never started that business, never learned that skill, never taken that chance. You keep saying it's too late, as if the words could comfort you. Step 8. Your 60s. You start asking questions, the kind you avoided for decades. Why didn't my life turn out differently? Why did I settle for so little? You try to find someone to blame: society, your parents, your exes, anyone but yourself. But deep down, you know, no one destroyed your life. You just followed the manual too perfectly. Step 9. Your 70s. You look at younger women and feel something strange, a mix of admiration and envy. You call them naive because they still have hope. You call them selfish because they prioritize themselves, something you never learned to do. You compete with your own daughter as if her youth were an insult to your years. You try to control your son because his love is the only one you still believe you deserve. Step 10. Your 80s. The grand finale. You've spent a lifetime giving, pleasing, waiting, and now you find yourself alone, wondering when exactly you lost yourself. You tell stories about how life used to be, while secretly wishing for one more chance to live it differently. But the truth is, the world keeps moving, and you've become a ghost in your own story. Congratulations! You've successfully completed the modern woman's manual to self-destruction. You've followed every step society applauded, and it led you exactly here. Because when you spend your life chasing validation instead of purpose, the ending is always the same: quiet, distant, and filled with what-ifs. This was the Irony Guide, because the best advice is usually the one you should never follow.